Okay. Stocks are going to open up. And I'm back in the saddle for an attempt here to trade in the United States on this broker called Oanda. And I'm running my hotkeys that I just wrote for the... I'm not watching the margin usage is incredible here. So you have to own a small... Like, how do you make $1 million trading? Start with $2 million. Okay, so... Like I said, I'm back to the grindstone. In a United States demo account, test driving I did place some very large orders here, but it's based on a total $5 risk. So I can publish this as this is my dollar drop system. I was in a chat room and I was trying to focus on, instead of having a pip risk, a dollar risk. So the way the scripts are written is literally, it is the, when it says 10 pips, 12 pips, 17, it's still $5 risk because I'm trading a 3K with a 17 pip stop, which gives me a risk $5 to make $9. So if you're into gambling, betting, on the right side here, it's risk 5 to make 9. So you're making little bets, right? And this, you can trade in the United States. Now, the stocks are going to open up in 4 minutes, which is like the news coming out, really. In essence, this will be the biggest, the final postage, the final exclamation mark on the whole rig, on the end of the week, really. And so it's either going to turn on a dime here or it's going to continue. Typically, it could turn on a dime. Now, I'm in 4 currency pairs that I don't normally trade, but I put these up because it's the classic tripod of Aussie US, New Zealand US, and Aussie to New Zealand, just like if you had the dollar to the pound, the euro to the dollar, and the euro to the pound. You know, the pound. That triangulation. Now here I'm going to run the script, so I'm going to put buy stops here, sell stops here, sell stops here, because I think this is overbought. And I didn't assign the hotkeys, so I'm going to manually click on. I know that these are all stops here. From 6 to 10 are stops. So here's the sell stops. Contrarian before the. I'm just going to click the hell out of that. And these are all stops. The first one's a scalp, and this one's kind of a riskier and a higher take profit. So some guy was asking about the risk of Rune. Every time I click this, I think it's like $1. So 20 clicks, $20. Now, 15 minutes. Those are all buy stops with buy limits connected. Here I'm going to sell. I think it's overbought. So any kind of pullback, and I'm really going to dial in for a stop entry. Here it's going to be, I'll put more of A5 in because these are sells. They're just sell stops, you know. That's funny because I said I was going to leave for the weekend, so I don't know if anybody's watching. Anyways, I'm just recording anyways. So the this is for a few in the United States. Now let me see if I'm making any fucking money. Okay. I can't say the sizes are right. Okay, 1 minute till the market opens. I kind of cheated because these aren't pure stops, so. Okay, let's wait it out. We've got 30 seconds before the news comes out. I mean, before the stocks open. So far, it's now the problem I had last time was I was up on the trade, so I hit take all profits. So I'm in the United States demo account right now, trading. The stock market's going to open up in 15 seconds. This is going to be the biggest last price pulse. I'm buying this on stops. On all these hotkeys I wrote, I want to test drive and see. First in, first out, it's not going to let me. I want to see what happens when I try to get out. And the last time I did this, actually I traded at FXCM, and the strangest thing happened there. That's a whole nother story. I put in a bunch of these hotkeys, and guess what? The last ticket I put in, every other ticket assumes the same risk ratios. It's almost like FXCM talked about this years ago. In unison, started moving every ticket regardless. It was very strange. Okay, so here we go. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be up big enough on these trades to actually have a problem where there's a first in, first out issue. When I go to scalp out, okay, so it's really not, it's not cut out for scalpers in the United States. It's really not that. I'm not paying attention to my balance here. I just want to see if it executes. I'm not trying to make money here. I'm just trying to test. Okay, I just got mega filled on something. So let me look at the, since that's too much to look at. Let's look at the balance here. $1,000 of margin. It's no day at the beach. Yeah, I'm back because I'm bored. I think I'm addicted to trading. No, I just had to take a break. I had to go out and kick the dog. I just said that to people that, you know, like, I don't know, maybe if there was the UPS, if there was a UPS girl, maybe I would never come back. But every time I go to get the UPS delivery, it's some guy. Why can't there be a hot UPS girl? Why can't Hooters hook up with UPS? What the fuck? It's wrong. It's just wrong. Yeah, you probably thought that you were. No, I'm in the United States. I'm trying to live like I live in the U.S. I'm trading as if I have an account at Oanda. I want to see what happens with this first in, first out issue. So if I'm up really big, I'm going to try to scalp out and see if I get them. Last time I did this, I had a message come up that said, "Can't do that. Sorry." So this 5-minute scalp window here, I'm selling the Australian, I'm selling New Zealand, and I'm buying the Australian versus New Zealand. I'm just trading Contrarian. This is down. I want to buy it. So I'm using my trusty double click stops with limits. These are coming in just fine. They're taking these scripts. So there was a guy that asked me on Skype, hey, he's trading at this broker. And the reason why I never really, once they went first in, first out, and I just had issues with, like I said, FXCM was trailing every stop in unison based on the last script that dropped. And I thought, and so I emailed the guy, and I explained to him very explicitly, I thought, right? I just said, why is it then, why is your platform adjusting all my stops according to the last order I dropped? And he goes, what do you mean? And I go, what do you mean, what do I mean? I just explained it. I'm running a script, I'm running a trade, and if I adjust my stop, every open ticket I have auto-adjusts with it. And what I'm thinking is, because first in, first out, how do you get around first in, first out? The broker reinitializes every trade as if it was just placed. So in unison, they all move together. So there's not a first in, first out issue. But that fucks up my scaling. I'm trying to scale it out on the market. Right? So it just fucks that up. Then I'm thinking, this is just not worth it. It's bad enough to try to trade manually and make some money. It's bad enough to try to trade in the first place. It's bad enough to be alive. I don't need to deal with this because I'm going to go off into this. Besides, I'd already traded 8 years ago when you didn't have this problem. So I'm going to redesign my whole life around all my work around that one thing now. So, but And all the people when I broadcast on YouTube, since people from Australia are watching me, they don't even fucking know about First. They don't know about the gulag, the Forex gulag, right? They don't know they're torturing people. And I just watched the thing about the guy that was over in North Korea. There's a decent documentary. And they were like, no, this is tough sledding. This is harder than Forex being at the North Korean death camp. It's tougher sledding than Forex. Yeah, that's what you train, right? The book that was, who's the guy that wrote the book about the Nazi concentration camps? He was in the concentration camps, and then he wrote a book when he got out. Okay, so here you go, 5 minutes. Now, there's a buy on the euro dollar, but I'm not buying. It's just too, it's creeper gear trades. I hate this creeper gear part of the day. And as soon as we get up to like $10 here, I'm going to attempt to do a take all winners. Now, see, I'm up on something, right? I'm up on something. And what I'm wondering is, and this is what I watched happen before with first in, first out, is that you could see the take profit sitting there and you're like, holy shit, why won't it get out? And it goes through the price and it doesn't get out and you're like, what the fuck? So, because there's nothing worse than being like, oh, we're like coming up on resistance, I can't get out. No, the broker's following the dictates of some arbitrary rule. Okay, so I'm up $8. I'm going to go for the take all profits on anything that's winning. Let's see if I get that rejection notice. Okay, I'm up a whole $9. It's not getting out. Did it get out? I didn't watch the margin change.
Incoming mail.
Oh, here we go. Did you hear that? This is what happens. Hello.
Incoming mail.
Every time I execute, the broker's sending me a little friendly note saying, I'm sorry. You're in a nanny state. Oh, think you can exit winning trade? Oh, not so fast. Not anymore. So this is why I don't trade at Oanda. Now, I can't even, if I go here and manually take it off, it's going to go, Look at multiple combined messages. This just in. But what you also get, how come I can't do the time adjustment here? Here's the letter. Dear customer, you decided to live in the United States. You poor son of a bitch. Have somebody change your baby formula. Don't forget to order diapers. According to the NFA, the Natural Futures Association, which what do they have to do with Forex when it's not futures, right? NFA, is that the... Okay. So we're stuck in these trades. You do want to figure your risk of ruin in the United States, right? So we're stuck in this trade. Either we get... This is another thing. Don't forget the nanny state's doing you a favor, people. What they're doing is saying, plan your trade and trade your plan. Right? Because you don't have a choice. You're in the Forex gulag. No, we'll tell you what to think. We'll tell you when to get out. So, Confucius say, write good trade plan if you trade in the USA, right? Don't forget to plan it. Now I'm sitting here thinking, I could use $5 right now. No, you can't. Let's see if I can close out manually. Brace yourself. I didn't turn the sounds off in here. Go for my biggest winner, please. Oof. Oh.
Incoming mail.
Oh. And the problem is I got to turn off the email alert because The next one,
Incoming mail.
the next one could be a winner, right? I don't know which one was. Oh, I got to do it by time. Here's what I got to do. First in. Okay. It was here, right? Ooh, I can take off a loser. How cool. God, I love first in, first out. Maybe this one. Here's a winner. Now, this is what I'm wondering. Is it first in, first out of every trade I've placed today, or is it first in, first out of each instrument? Another question. Oof. It's first in, first out of every fucking ticket. Are you fucking kidding me?
Incoming mail.
So the guy asked me, when the guy told me he was trading at this broker, I said, well, it's a tough sledding. Ooh, I'm up $11. Well, maybe they're right. Maybe the nanny state's going to save me, right? So what's your claim to success? I moved to the United States and I was over trading and renting hookers, and I moved to the United States, and yeah, if you're a dreamer, I'm a Forex dreamer. No, I moved here for the FIFO. I don't think you understand. So you're here for the FIFO? Yeah. I'm here to be regulated because I can't fucking control myself. I don't even know what day it is. That's why I bought the Apple Watch. If you would have told me 20 years ago, people would be buying, they'd be a computer called Apple, and one of them be Macintosh. Is it legal for me to come out with a tablet called Red Delicious? Apple would try to sue me. They go, they'd go to court and they go, it is an Apple. Yeah, first in, first out. This is another reason why. But I don't understand it because Jason Greystone trades with Empowered Trading, but Akil Stokes is in the United States, so it's not like he's... But the other guy trades as if he has FIFO. He's trying to pretend he's in the United States, the guy, Jason Greystone. After you watched him out of Australia trading the Gartleys, I don't know. I just watch YouTube all day. I know all this stuff. Bunch of useless information. So welcome to Oanda. Oh, welcome to Oanda. So, would you like some sake while you wait to get out of this trade? Oh, it's a buy on the Eurodollar here for a scalp. Yeah, I give that buy a rating of 83%. I wouldn't go heavily in. Yeah, I like this FIFO, man. Do you feel safer? It will save you. Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, driving with a helmet, like, you might want to enjoy a nice bike ride on your bicycle without a helmet. Let's face it, man. If you're drinking, or if you're just lackadaisical, it might save your life. You may become a liberal right on this. You'll just change your mind and you'll be going down on Hillary, right? You're going to have Hillary posters in your kid's room. So I go over to my buddy's house. Years later, we were kids and stuff. So years later, I go over to my friend's house, and he found a hot chick. He was a good-looking guy. He found a hot chick, and he made babies. So I go he takes me a tour of his house, and he says, "Look at my son's room," and he's got a bunch of I think they had porn on the walls. He says, "I don't want to put in any football players because I don't want my kid to turn gay." He goes, "I don't want any guys that are in shape of posters." So yeah, he set us up like a Hooters bar in his son's bedroom because I think he was homophobic. Or his son was gonna go gay if he. Saw too many athletes on the wall. FIFO saved me because how can you can't overtrade. You can't even trade. They came up with it. They came up with it because people were suing their brokers and shit. I also think they came up with it to sabotage. Well, because when the market crashed, they thought, well, obviously, they think seatbelts. They think the lack of seatbelts cause crashes. I mean, I think about the logic, right? If there are no seatbelts, you'll drive bad and die. So it's not that you should learn how to drive a car. It's that, you know. And the thing was, people that didn't know how to trade, they didn't know. I think it's really to keep people from over trading, to be honest with you. I mean, it's obviously that's the effect, and what they're saying is, well, and maybe it's a fairness thing. Maybe some guy was gaming it where he was trading like a wild man and hedging. See, they outlawed hedging, outlawed first in, first out. And I think part of it was the fact that the government is so stupid that they literally, when the market crashed, said, like, what happened here? Let's investigate. So a bunch of people that don't understand free market stepped in and said, it's just not right that the market went down. And then they had trading curves. And how can you slow down a market that's, yeah, because what if, it also would stop somebody from being a fat finger, I suppose. But it is like saying, hey, we're going to make it so your car doesn't go any faster than 100 miles an hour. But what if you had to get somewhere really quickly and you died because you didn't get there fast enough? But they said, look, you don't understand, man. This car goes to 140. How can we trust that humans won't go to 140? But isn't that on your watch? Are you hurting other people by you not trading first in, first out? Is your hedge hurting somebody? I mean, really, it is the most fascinating thing I've ever seen in my life. And of course, right on the heels of the fact that I decided at that point, after trading commodities for years, I'm going to be a full-time Forex trader. And right when that fucking started, the market happens to sell off, wouldn't you know it, just the timing of that. They call it a market crash, but I lived through the 87 crash. And let me tell you something. The economy was fucking roaring. People jumped out of windows and died in the 87 crash. And now people just fucking are so hypersensitive to the slightest deviation. Look at these motherfuckers with the climate change. Are you fucking kidding me? You don't have ass cancer. Shut the fuck up. You're fine. So let me open the platform, see if I can get out of a loser, but let me see if it has to be a winner at the top of the stack. I'm waiting for this first in, my first dumbass trade. And it's not even by size in here. You know, first in, first out. I must have got out of that $5. I must have got stopped. I'm just left in one case, but the amount of anger that it overcame me like a rush, like, just when I decided to get in the game, the outlaw, like it's like I just decided to become a guitarist. Now they outlawed music. Thanks. So you got 3 things against you in the United States. There's so much leverage, you might as well just go get real money at the bank and walk around with it. And get on a plane and fly to the next country and try to do a swing trade. You can't hedge, which means I can't even say, you know what? I'm short, but I'd like to go long a little. And you're locked in a sequence trade. Not only do you have to think, and so this is what I was thinking. If I wrote a drop script, so when I write the script, the very first top ticket in that script, if it's a multiple bank script, which I haven't done, so I could in essence fit FIFO rules. What would have to happen is you'd say, this is the first script you need to click. You'd actually have to list, you know, because But the nice thing is they're not preventing me from adding to the position. The one thing that I'm not filtering is I can still put in buy stops here. And I can load up and I can trade at the market. I just can't hedge. It's going to reject. And I get very careful not to hit because they're going to email me and go, can't do that either. So you really got your hands tied here. But like I said, never going to blow up. Really hard to blow up a FIFO account. And I think that was the thing. It's a culmination of a bunch of stuff. The financial insurance people are everybody's whose ox is being gored when the market crashes. They're all going to jump in. Don't let a good crisis go to waste. Everybody piles into their whatever they're trying. So now I could just focus on this one currency over here. But if I wrote the script, so if I double clicked at the very top tick, it had a tighter stop and a tighter take profit. So I would just know it's away from the other ticket. So it's not going to do a master stop. Maybe you can't do a master stop, right? I haven't thought about it because you have to literally sit with a piece of paper and put a dot and go, here's where the market is. What if it fills this bank? Is it going to sequence? Can I take profits on the first in? Well, it has to be the very top of the stack if it's a buy limit. Is that going to hold through the whole swing? The other guys aren't going to get out. If you're normally used to buying deeper with scalps deep, now it has to get stopped out of that first ticket. So maybe you have to just have the array set. It's like a bunch of single tickets, no master stop. You could have 100 ticket. You could buy every 10 pips with a 3 pip stop and have an array like that just stacks in below you. Or 20 pips apart with a 13 pip stop. 21 pip take profit, right? Fibonacci script. And then if you double click that, now this whole other thing is that you got the 15-minute, these are all 15-minute orders I'm dropping now. It would be hard to blow up your account. And you'd be forced to go through the whole trade sequence. But if you're not used to having, like wear a helmet when you ride a bicycle, like when you ride a motorcycle, if you wear a helmet, you can't hear. If you're used to listening to ambient sounds to hear if a truck's coming up on you, you're fucked. You're wearing a helmet to protect your head, but you can't, you're disorientated. Plus the weight of the helmet could snap your neck. So it's, every place you go, but it's so funny because there's only like 4 brokers in the United States. They totally destroyed. There was IBFX out of Texas. They let you trade nano accounts. So the very first trading I did was IBFX. Now they went to Australia. And what they did was when FIFO first came out, you didn't even know it because they had a back office computer that made you believe that you were in a hedge. Made you believe what they had is they took the other side of the trade and created they'd already built that and had that ready to go when FIFO came out. Well, FIFO was coming out and they said, hey, get ready, here it comes. So that was IBFX had a solution in their back office to offset your trade to make it appear as if you were hedging and you didn't give a fuck about FIFO. But Oanda is, I think, out of Asia, and I think they merged with another Forex broker, and that's so if you're if you're in Europe, you can have all the leverage. There is no FIFO. It's just, I'm pretty sure Oanda is out of Asia, and so yeah, that's just. So not a lot of drama here. This is pretty much a fizzle. Like I said, that huge scalp was like if you'd sold this today, this triple top on the Australia New Zealand, that was crazy. This is very rangy market. Look at all these ranges. Look at the wick on this thing. Look at the spread, how terrible it is. This is a pretty fairly tight spread too, considering FXCM spreads on the euro suck. They're like 2.5 pips or something ridiculous. The spreads are probably bad because nobody trades at that brokerage firm anymore. They can't get any liquidity, or they can't get Like, I don't know, they've been sued. It's just a fucking train wreck, man. FXCM is just, that's where I started though, because you could trade a micro account with $50. That's where all the fun started. Plus, their platform sucks. You can use a MetaTrader here, but like, why bother, right? Look, I'm losing money here. Not one winner to get out of. They're all losers. I think that's rigged. Let me put on some more bad trades. I'm going to sell this. There's just consumer confidence coming out, and then that's it. I don't know what the. I'm going to buy this as it plunges. I'm going to sell this as it goes up. So I'm just a contrarian. If it's going up, I'm selling. Going down, I'm buying. It's just how it is. That's how I think about it. Yeah, you can't even hedge. It's kind of funny. Unless you really know how to hedge, it is bad. I wonder if I could close all open and pendings right now. I don't even think I can get out what I'm in, honestly. Let me try to close all open and pendings. Like, let me try to bail on every ticket I'm in. Should put a hedge. Yeah, they could adjust the back office to save you, but I don't think it's worth their while. I don't think they'd give a fuck. You cannot hedge with FIFO. It's almost like it's a blind date. Okay, looks like 3 minutes till consumer confidence. So yeah. You can't even hedge. You can't even hedge. You could be totally flat on one ticket. You can't be long and short on one instrument. Now you can hedge if you open up another brokerage account. You have to open another. Yeah, isn't it weird? It's so strange. It's a strange world after all. Instead of it's a small world after all. Is there an EA that does a FIFO workaround? There's probably an EA out there that, I don't know. I just took on more margin. That's all I know. And that's all I get to do. Now, there's no winners on here. I make sure that time. This guy's about to take profits. And the funny thing is to watch the market go through your take profit and not get out. That's awkward. Yeah, you can have two accounts with the same broker. So you have to do a like a rewire, repatch. Like you need to have that loophole, some kind of workaround. Yeah, stuff's now 2 minutes till news. Or I should say it's my clock's not right. Oh no, that's right. But yeah, I don't know if I could. The margin requirement here is just staggering. I could open a whole. This is $1,500 a margin. I'm not in that many tickets. I'm in like. It's 501 leverage. So what am I in like? Here's there's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 28, 29, 30. Oh, I'm in like 70K? Here, let me, this is like page up. Does page up work? If that's 10K, like 40K? It's just... Okay. On top of the stack here. Waiting for this guy to take profits. Okay, the market's moving on the news here. I'm watching to see my margin. I just took on more margin. You gotta wait for the top of this stack. If this is up, I can sit it with my finger on the trigger and I can scalp off one of these if it doesn't hit my take profit. So I'd have to babysit the terminal, basically. Arrange by time. First trade of the day. Really? Oh my God. Yeah, merger mania, because nobody can live alone. I see the gas stations have Taco Bells built into them now. The whole world's consolidating. You know, if you study Elliott wave in psychological terms, the Industrial Revolution is wave 3, and after that you have consolidation. And then there's a final wave, and that would be the end of the world. So consolidation is all you see. This company merges with that company, yeah, because they can't handle the regulations. So they find safety. It's a buddy system. You hook up with me, and then I had a friend that owned a business, and he had right next door, he had another business that he owned, and he would write one business, he would take inventory out of one business, and this one corporation loses his ass, so he had a losing corporation and a winning corporation. So if he wasn't making enough, if he was really getting his ass kicked by taxes, he would just take supplies out of the other room, off her office, and walk right next door to the next address. And then, so one company's making money, the other company's losing its ass big time. You never paid any taxes. I mean, certainly anybody's clever enough to own their own business is going to figure out how to get around it. See, I want to get out of this winter, but I can't. I can't get out, and I'm waiting to get out of the first. I have to sit with a loser. I can't see my total margin usage unless I click down here. I don't know if I got... See, I might have got stopped out of a trade, though. It's hard to really tell if I'm right about these trades. Here, I'm going to buy this again at the market now. I'm going to buy at the market. And here I'm going to sell at the market. And then I'm going to put sell. So I'm just going to go for the whole thing. When I click all these things, my risk of ruin is about $15. If I hit every one of these buttons, oops, I just put a hedge on, I think. I'm not sure if I haven't tried to hedge. I don't know if it rejects the order. Like it won't even let me place it, maybe. I shorted that. What if I buy it? Okay, it's just not going to fill. It's not even going to fill. So the broker won't take it. If I try to buy hedge right now, they're not going to take it. I can only sell. I have to go with my original... Plus, FIFO is keeping me from staying with my original trade plan. Forget what I said about FIFO. It's like... yeah, I see 2 fingers. How many fingers am I holding up? Okay, 4. 4 fingers. Whatever you say. Stop the torture. Stop the FIFO. I'll trade whatever you want. FIFO. Yeah, let me turn my... I gotta turn my Skype on. So Paul Ryan. Are you on my Skype list? I mean, if you email me, I can track down the Oh, fuck. Get the Friday. I almost bought a financial passport from the Dominican Republic 8 years ago. I was so pissed off, right? So, I started to look for, it's called a financial passport. It costs you $20,000. It's probably $40,000 now. So you send $40,000 to the government of the Dominican Republic, and they send you back a passport that says you live there, financially speaking. You have a business in the Republic. And then you can take that, and you may have to open a commercial trading account, but I think it's domain. So you'd have a financial domain there. But what they'll tell you at these brokerage firms, they want like a utility bill to prove that you really live where you live. And you really are who you are, and you're not, some towelhead that's trying to blow up the world or launder money. But everybody launders money when they everybody launders money when they do it by the government dictate, which means you have to get a deduction on your you file. You say, well, I'm going to take this as a deduction cost of doing business, right? So if you make a business out of your trading, if you make it a business, you can write off your data feeds and all your computer hardware. Right. That's why I want to do it real time. Yeah, real time because but I'm just kind of also griping and doing stuff here. But yeah, if you've got because you can do a screen share, I could see how you see the market. See, another thing is I can't tell. Somebody sent me a screenshot of their stuff, and I was like, oh boy. So it's hard to see how other people perceive the world. But the dream is to not rock the boat, right? I think the dream has always been don't rock the boat. Okay, listen, sounds like all right. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Let's not rock the boat. Like this is what I grew up under. My parents are very traditional. Listen, let's not be argumentative. So I think maybe I am so argumentative. Like this is like the Catholic schoolgirl that's she's a rape artist, I mean, she's been repressed, so well, I guess I don't pay income taxes. I run a pimp service on the side. I'm renting out. I think I told the story of my tequila buddy that broke up with his girlfriend and decided that he still liked the sex, and he said, do you mind if I turn you into my personal hooker? And she said, absolutely not. So she'd come over for $100 on Monday night when Melrose Place was on. And then to top it off, she had a hotter girlfriend she brought with her, and he paid both of them the next day $200. So he sat up all night doing cocaine with these girls, and then in the morning, since he wasn't able to achieve orgasm, he was so sore. He crawled to the door because the girls came the next day, wanted the money. He crawls to the door and paid them. This is right out of a movie. My tequila buddy lives like he's inside of a movie. It's just amazing. He's the guy that was trading real money at FXCM. So he's up $400. He calls me, dude, I just made $400. And he calls me, dude, I just blew up $400. He goes, I'm adding to the account. He kept saying I'm topping the account off. Now, mind you, he makes like $100,000 a year in his day job. I'm watching this guy trade FXCM. It was hysterical. I wish I had a GoPro on my head during those times. So they can I'll make a whole movie out of it. Reality TV movie. Let me see. I'm looking at my email here. See, somebody emails me here, and then we'll see if I can go for the audio feed. It's my goal is to be an organized, unangry person. I don't know. Is Paul Ryan in my? Is Paul Ryan the guy from Britain? I tell you, man, real life is just, you don't have to go to the movies. After a while, you get old enough, you just play back everything that happened to you in your head every day. You're like, okay. I'm still waiting to realize a profit on my first bad trade today. The broker's holding this first trade against me with FIFO. It's like when they send you to the, when you're in prison, they put you in the box. Isolation, put you in solitary confinement. You're no longer allowed to, yeah, sorry about the birds. Some people like them. I know somebody said, so yesterday at the end of the broadcast yesterday, I had a Japanese restaurant, I had 2 wars going on, and I had birds. I just thought, you just get bored sitting here. I can't play any music because I'll get, unless it's my music. I could play my music on a loop. You'd probably learn to like it. But, and I like a nice rainstorm, but you can be careful because it put you to sleep. I like a nice train ride. So there's a program out there. There's a sound file out there that looks like somebody took it down, but it was called gas furnace, and it sounded like you were sitting in a furnace room. So in the wintertime, I put the gas furnace on and I get a placebo effect where I feel warmer because I can hear the jets on the furnace. And it reminds me of when I was a kid and the furnace, I'd hear the furnace kick on and I just knew warmth was on its way. The gas furnace is just a beautiful low frequency rumble with the air jets on top. And it's like somebody mic'd up the furnace pretty close to the jets. It's not like a on the other side of the room sample. It's literally, you're in the furnace kind of. Yeah, I called Samsung TV. So my parents aren't very technological, so I programmed their plasma TV, and I was calling up Samsung for tech support, and the robot says, "Could you tell me what you're calling about?" And then you hear fake typing. You hear fake typing. They got a sample in the background that makes it sound like she's really working for you. She's worth her weight in robotness. She's that girl. It sounds like birds chirping. I'm using my Dell Xenon rack mounts to trade the currency markets. Yeah, good old dot matrix printer. Okie data. Looks like I cashed out of my sell here. No, you see, the sad thing is that look how big I'm up on this trade. Look, I'm up $1, and I cannot get out. Look, can't get out.
Incoming mail.
Can't get out.
Incoming mail.
I used to trade commodities, but it took too much margin, and when I traded commodities, you picked up the phone and you placed the order. So I had a satellite dish on my roof. It cost me $283 a month to have. The dish costs about, from Comstock feed, so I had pay $120 for the data feed, and then I had to pay exchange fees to be 15 minutes ahead of the public. So Chicago Board of Trade, and you know, you're basically losing every month if you don't trade. And it cost me $35 round trip for a trade that had call on the phone. So you had to place an order. You had to say, you couldn't say December corn. You had to say Christmas corn, because if you said December corn and they filled you on November corn, and you're like, what the fuck? Because the problem with futures is that if you're trading, you're trading the most current liquid month that is about to expire, that you cannot hold that trade through expiration. You have to get out of that trade and roll over into a future out month with worse liquidity and more volatility and worse spreads, because it's just terrible. So Forex came along. So I thought Forex was, I thought there's no fucking way. How can it be a free trading platform? How can there be no commissions? How can there be real time for free? And so, you know, I'm thinking once you go Forex, you never go back. I thought. Plus, another problem with futures is just to trade corn, you need $600 in your account just to trade 5,000 bushels of corn. And corn would move maybe, that's $12.50 per tick move in corn. So if it moved like a penny, you know, I mean, if it moved, you know, whatever, you know, oh, I just made $100, or I just so you got to make up the spread, got to make up the commissions. And you got to pay for you're under pressure to trade because you're paying so much fucking money for your maybe not now. Now there's electronic trading. It's a whole different world. So I guess Forex is the ultimate, because it's, even if you go to trade at these stock traders, $9 round turn at electronically trading stocks, forget about it. They kind of killing you. Still a loser on that first trade. Never going to live that down. They're never going to let, the broker's never going to, I got to get stopped out of that first before I can see a winner come up to the top of the stack. Oh boy, goody looky. I'm about ready to pull the trigger on a winner here. I could be making money. I'm not even paying attention to that aspect. I was right about selling these two, but I wasn't right about this one. But I'm going to double down on this trade. I'm going to buy some more of that. This one I would buy, but I can't, right? Because this is a problem. I cannot buy this now. I have to wait for these sells to cash out. I can't even cash out anything that's winning in that stack. But it's... Now, I have to take this loser off. This is the only way out, right? But what if this becomes a winner? So for me to get to a winner... Now, if I hit close all profits, it's gonna... I'm gonna run close all profits script. Watch the margin. I'm at 1434 margin. It's taking off winners.
Incoming mail.
But when it got to the last, it just took off winners. But when it got to the one that wasn't, it just sent me a message. More FIFO violations. You could trade commodities, you could trade equities, but you know what? Honestly, a trade's a trade's a trade. So if you know how to trade, oh, it's cashing out. Look at, it's cashing out. FIFO made me rich today. Well, looky there. This guy's dropping like a rock. I'm going to put buy stops in. Contrarian trade that. Stops only, so as it comes flying back up, they'll fill me. As it sweeps back up. Still can't, let me see if this is a winning ticket. Okay, so I can take these winners off. Oh, no. Yikes. No, that's not right. That's first in.
Incoming mail.
What are they talking about? That is first in. That's my first in ticket. That's just wrong.
Incoming mail.
This is wrong. Is there two kinds of coffee now? You can trade like Arabic coffee, and you can trade like high-end, like Starbucks. Is a Starbucks trade? I'm trading boutique coffee. Spread bet. Right. That's what all these guys in the UK tell me, is that, yeah, they've accepted that trading's gambling. It's kind of funny. Yeah, of course, they're more realistic here. We don't like to call it gambling here. We like to call it investing. Like you're getting married to the market. All right, I want that bean that comes out of that pig's ass or something. It's supposed to be the high end. How about, so do they trade Jamaican blue futures? I mean, as much as Jamaican blue costs, I think they would have a... That's going to be like a high margin requirement. It's $30 a pound. Last time I saw it, it was $3. Yeah, you can't go wrong with getting vitamin B12 from your beer. Okay. I'm running the buy stops here on the yield. Oof, this could fall down in a hole. I don't care. I'm just scalping for the day. Just want to see what happens here. It's a buy on the euro dollar. Looks like a nice... We came all the way back to the 1960 on euro. I see I took down my other broker. The here's the let's see what the stocks are doing. Are they going higher? Here's the oh, look, I'm making money. And I don't know why. I'm Robin Leach of Forex. Look at that, look at these stocks. Record highs. I don't know where I'm making money at. Oh, look at the Bitcoin retrace. There you go. They almost hit the top bottom. in Bitcoin. Right there. This is the, just didn't get filled. Broker ripped me off. See, that's why you have to commit to buying everything below that ledge all the way to here. Here's your whole buy limit bank. You can't wait for this. It never saw it. So there's a 4-hour retrace on Bitcoin. A big scalp there on Bitcoin today. That's a monster scalp considering, look at this, look at the drift down into that. So you have, if you had a buy limit bank in here, you would just scalp to the floor on some of these tickets and you're a genius. Huge scalp. I sold the Swiss. Don't have the chart up. Dollar Swiss. This is alphabetical, so it's real. They put the major pairs in highlight up here. Uh-oh. Platform not responding. I get that a lot with this broker. Evolve Markets, their platform's unstable. If I change time frame, request data, like we're not responding. Is it a happy Friday? Okay, let's go for the it's still not responding. Very unresponsive. Get the paddles clear. He's in paddle situation. Yeah, markets are just too tame. I don't know. Not too much going on here. Kind of all drifty. Looks like everybody went home. Still waiting for chart to load. I don't know what happened to this broker. Let's go back to the first in, first out drama. Still putting in buy stops on top of a dropping Australia, New Zealand. Still waiting to get cashed out of this genius trade here, selling that as it was high, relatively high. Here's your resistance level on the 1 hour, dead on. This chart here, this template is what I have here is I connected the highs with a 1 period moving average. So this the close inside this like cage, that's just the bars, and it's kind of easier to see the vacuum depending on how you perceive that. But look how beautifully this structure level here, and then you've got the, I call them the super tight Bollinger Bands. The high-low envelope. 1 period, right? 1 period. So you could do tops become bottoms on the wick tips. Like here's a top, becomes a bottom on that, and then top bottom here on the closing prices, but not deep enough to, and of course you'd start buying on limits in this. If the market was going to be open for another, like tonight, I'd buy if it plunged in here or anywhere based on this pivot Right here. So here's what top became a bottom before that last lunge. And anything around here is a good buy, I think. New Zealand's pulling back. Here's without the candles. Here's with the candles. So you see how stupid candles are? What are those bullish and bearish candles telling you? Nothing. What does this tell you? Very simple, right? It just couldn't be any simpler. This is the range. Here's the timing. Right, this looks like a hammer. So I always put new templates up to keep cross-training my brain for a different, like, I could trade candlesticks, but why bother? It's too much work. It's too much stress. Honestly, I've got 3 trading books, coffee table books, Steve Neeson, read it, stared at it, reread it. The reason why I hate candlesticks, because it's perceptive learning, it's not concept learning, it's percepts, right? You don't learn what a chair is, right? You don't see what up and down is. You learn Barco Lounger, Lazy Boy, wooden chair, gaming chair. You have to memorize every chair on the planet. You can't think chair conceptually. That's what they don't. That's why empowered trading pisses me off. It's the see and say method of trading. Okay, here's a bat wing. Here's a. You know what? You're doing all these little details we don't need. The question is, do I buy now? Do I sell now? Or do I place a limit order? Or a stop order? There's only 3 fucking questions. There's 6 if you consider buy and sell. Why torture me? Well, what we have here in Module 1 is, and then people ask me, well, what's your approach to trading? I'm like, pretty caveman. I have caveman approach. Now, I started trading without stops because I only had $100 in my account, so I figured the account was a stop. So my original approach to trading was, if it's going down, it's buying. If it's going up, I'm selling, because I'm a contrarian. So I already knew I was a contrarian. Like, if you say yes, I say no. If you say it's sunny out, I say, not really, there's clouds. If I'm disagreeable and creative. So I'm open to disagree. So I figured out who I was. And of course, you know, that's going to affect how you trade the market. Now, if you're a contrarian, how long can you be wrong? Now, if you're trading really big, you cannot be wrong long. But there's an interview with Jack Schwager, the guy that wrote Trading Wizards. And what he says in there is the most profitable trader that ever fucking existed is a contrarian that sold and sold and sold, and he kept selling what's going up. And then it retraced, and he cashed out, and he made more money than any trade. He said, a lot of people can't do that trade. Or they don't have deep enough pockets to even do that trade. But you got a micro account, you can do it. You have to accept the punishment. But if you want to scalp, you can see an opportunity on the 5-minute chart where that's consolidated. You get a beautiful triangle, you get in, bam, you're out. You might make as much money as the guy that's scaling into some contrarian trade. So, but it depends who you are. There's no way. I'm not doing anything special other than saying, well, this is a scalp trade and this is a swing trade, and you decide, do you have patience or don't you? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so it's like, CO pints. It's half hour on it. Yeah. What? Oh, that's 79. What currency is that? 97.80. Is that? Is that New Zealand? 97. Yeah, I don't know. If you look at the what I could understand, this is like when I first started to talk about Forex, and I did a video about this, is New Zealand dollar up here at, well, I said it was going to go to $1 because I thought, well, surely they're going to take out this 88 cents, and this is the highest. This is when fundamentally I thought, well, according to fundamentals, if this is the highest interest rate on the planet, why isn't this trading higher than the American dollar, right? If the idea that people invest in a country's currency because they're paying good dividends, then why isn't New Zealand dollar higher than the American dollar? I don't get it. So fundamentally, that's a brain teaser. When I first started trading, it was right here. 2008 crash. Look at New Zealand dollar trading at 50 cents. So I said to my buddy, this is the tequila guy, I said, holy shit, let's fucking buy this like it's a stock, right? And I was telling everybody I knew, I said, if you looked at Forex, and they're like, no, what are you talking about? Oh, what if this thing comes back to here? Just the floor. That's 10 cents. 1,000 pips. In 2 months. You didn't have to ride it up to here, right? To 88 cents. Not that that wouldn't have been a bad idea. Buy and pullback, your first pullback, right? Your first pullback is this one, I suppose, right here. And this thing could eventually eclipse. This could go to $1. Maybe I'll be right in the end. You got to get above the floor that was taken out here. Here's the double bottom, became the top. Oh, here comes the euro dollar. Final assault at 120 possibly here as London closes. Is this thing still looping? Oh, they finally put up my chart. Look, I made all this money on this trade. I'm killing it on the Swiss franc. I didn't even know I put the trade in. Oh, I had a demo that I opened years later and it was up like fucking... The demo is still running 5 years later. I opened up the demo, I'm up like 10 grand on this fucking small, like 10K. I'm like, Jesus. I wish I had patience to trade like that. Let's see if I should get out of this thing. Yeah, why not, right? This broker lets you out of anything. It's the break even, and it's just barely up on that one. The Australian dollar. Nice 5-minute retrace, ricochet off that price level. Okay, everything's just fizzled. The cat's out of the bag, he's drunk, and his whiskers are all scrunched up. So what is your life in a nutshell? Pain and agony? Oh, the pain. You live like Zachary Smith? Dollar CAD, beautiful engulf. Look how it engulfed the whole day here. So here's another engulf pattern. Take out the low of the day, take out the high of the day. Game over. One and done. Right? This is a perfect example of full tilt auction. Take out the low of the previous day and take out the high of that day, or make a new low for the day, and then totally retrace and golf. And the sellers come in here, and it goes back the other way. You trade wick to wick. This is some crazy prices you come up with. I can't think that deep. That is 97. Oh, I guess it's not that far away from 97.80. I thought it was 90. 97. 80. Where is that? I'm sorry, 79. I'm dyslexic. Yeah. Well, that's the closing price for sure. See, the daily Australian dollar. Man. This big move here kind of like, wow. That was like it. So if you 97, put this on the 4-hour chart, let's see where it lands. Okay, it's a double bottom here on the 4-hour. So in the 1 hour, it's definitely going to be a double bottom. So here's what top, well, here's the launching pad. So on the 1 hour chart, there's more rivets. Like here's the double bottom. Here's the top becomes a double bottom on the 1 hour. So here's a stupid trade. A classic setup, right? You got the trend line break, you got a wedge into structure, and then you turn this on and you're like, okay. You could have actually got in there and they wouldn't have stopped you out. There was no stop out. If you bought into that, so I call this wax on, wax off to see whether you, what happened there. So if you plan your trades, on the line chart or your back test, the idea that you're going to trade tops become bottoms, see how tight a stop you needed to run and see if you would have got filled. Now it's very hard to see structure without the line chart. I just don't even know how people are doing it. I cannot perceive a double top here with candlesticks. I got to chop the wicks off, and then people are putting, they're calling this the top. That's not the top for me. Not in time, because that just happened in, that could have happened in 40 milliseconds, or that could have taken a whole hour to drift up and down on that. So I'd say plan your trades on this chart, on the line chart. This way you're trading, you're thinking structure first, and you can see the trend here. As soon as you can connect two lines here, this is a confirmed uptrend. As soon as it swings, it doesn't swing any higher. First pullback, and you could have bought that at the market if you babysat that. Perfect trend line, right? This is your painfully obvious entry because it's based on this. Moving averages, this is like, people try to come up with this automatically adjusting moving averages. It's garbage. Because you have to manually analyze an automatic. You might semi-automatic trade with scripts, but you got to look at this and say, oh, it's an uptrend, confirmed uptrend. As soon as it doesn't move, this is instantly adapting. It's manually adapting. Here's a double bottom. Here's a top become a bottom. Who is not scalping off of this triple top? Now you got to pay attention to the time of the day here. Now it's going to be a scalp, right? Like this is a scalp. I don't have the right script for it, but it would be like, I go for a tight scalp script. Here's 10 pips to make 10 pips. So I pepper these in. Here's another top bottom right here. This is the pivot. Now I'm placing my orders in this fair value, and I just start laying them in. That's because we know we're going to buy this if it comes back. You could even make this argument. Trend line break, pull back, retest that trend line break. So if I turn these on, there's no fucking way you would ever come up with that trade plan. I had candles on there? I don't think so, because you're going to be distracted by those wicks. Now, you would turn it on to see, I got to put some limit orders in. Now, here's the thing. I know this low exists. There's no secret. Everybody knows this low exists. What if I buy that on a retest here? But if I go one more measure further, and just in case that's not the bottom, I put a buy order bank in here. This is so funny because Akil Stokes had a video where I can't find it, but I made a comment and he said, we got a struggling trader here named Simpleton. He's asking everybody in the war room, why don't I just place a fucking buy limit? I didn't say fucking in the comment. Why don't I just place a buy limit down here? Because I know this is support. So if we come back here, I will essentially have bought a double bottom, let the market come to me, let the market prove me right. So he asked the war room goobers, people, can anybody answer Simpleton why we don't trade like that? And of course there was the pregnant pause. Of course he's on a delay. That's right, class, because we don't know that's the bottom. I'm like, holy fuck, you just blew up my frontal lobe with that fucking answer. Are you fucking kidding me? Because we don't know that it could keep going lower. Dude, you watching it's not going to stop that from happening. That's nothing I learned from Andrew Cardwell. Nothing you do is going to change that trade, dude. You could stare at that fucking, you might even get scared and pull the order. But what if you bought here and below, just in case you are wrong? Then you turn on the old Wixters, and holy fuck. You could have gobbled up this on limits. You knew this low existed. Why can't you just put orders in there? Akil? I don't know if Akil watches. He's too busy in the real estate business. So, you know, that's what occurred to me when I first blew up my first Forex account and I saw that wick. I said, holy shit, there's got to be a way to make money from that wick. Well, there sure enough is there. It's called, I know this top exists, what if I put a sell order here? That's just too simple, man. You don't understand. I wrote a book, 500 pages. Albert Brooks, 500 pages. No. How do you deal with being wrong? How do you deal with, what if it... So Akil Stokes has not psychologically overcome. He's not a professional trader. A professional trader would never say, what if they stop me out? Fuck, they know buying support works. He's so afraid to lose money. That's why they spend all that time on that Garley shit. Watch these fuckers. You never want to think like these fucks. Who wants to emulate that thinking? It's more like Mike Cernovich. If Mike Cernovich was going to trade... Did anybody read Guerrilla Mindset? Okay. You got to trade like fucking Guerrilla Mindset trader. You can't trade like a fucking pussy analyst. It's never going to work. Looking at fucking... Well, we're looking for what? It's never going to work for me. You might be killing it with a Garley. I have no fucking idea, but I'm still waiting for the guy on FX book called Gartley. You know, Gartley's Are Us, and he's killing it. And he's famous. He's on Time Magazine. He's on Forbes. Wouldn't he be? Apparently, the common sense goof by the name of Warren Buffett is making money. Not to mention Bill Gates. How did he even find his way out of the house? These aren't mind-boggling, you know, not geniuses. They just did something and they did it. They just did something. But they did it. They didn't overanalyze it. They didn't say, well, there's got to be a right... No, they just started doing it, and they're like, hey, you know what? Keep experimenting till you find... So these are... The idea that you're going to... If your rule checklist is so filtered, you're never going to be able to make a move. Like you've overregulated yourself now. You got this checklist. Well, I got a checklist. Okay, doesn't do, no, I watched 2 hours of this one guy. I had to watch everything in high speed now when I watch shit on fucking YouTube where the guy's analyzing the market because I'm like, I'm gonna implode from anxiety. So I speed the tape up, and he gets through the tape. I swear to God to you, he says shit like, well, we've got, so people always come up with some acronym based on some filter system they built. Like this is called the fuck me doji. Well, does this qualify? I give this doji a score of 8. I'm looking for a 9 today because I'm risking a lot of money on this trade. Are you nuts? You have to trade like 100 trades and maybe half are losers. It's okay. You just made money because you got great ratios. The art of losing. I mean, it's just not like people think. And they always think, well, there's got to be a secret. This is what I thought. There's actually, I printed out the corn market chart one day. So I got very serious about trading one day. I bought a drafting table and I printed out the Chicago Board Trade December corn, and I stared at this chart. It was a bar chart because I don't even think it was candlesticks back then. Honestly, software didn't know what a candlestick was. I'm staring at it and I'm thinking, there's got to be a way to make money in the market. No, there's got to be only one way to make money in the market, and I'm missing something. I'm staring at the chart thinking, no, there's got to be. At this time, I'd had somebody trade for me, and they blew up my account, so that's when I decided to just take over the steering wheel myself. And I'm staring at this corn chart, and I'm like, oh my God, there has to be something to it. I didn't think about volatility back then. I didn't think, how tight does my stop need to be? I literally didn't think about that. I thought there was some secret, because I've heard there's a secret, the secret of trading. It turns out the secret of trading is hard fucking work. It's like, what's your secret to playing any skill level? Like the glide well is a 10,000 hour rule, right? You do something for 10,000 hours, you're gonna figure it out, or you're gonna get somewhat good at it. After coming up on my take profit, should I get out? I'm up 400 bitcoins. This is weird. I'm in this Bitcoin account. So this is whatever shiitakes, mushroom. I don't know. Something's weird here. So let me just take that off the table. I don't know what that is. So I took that scalp there. But the nice thing is I didn't have to. If I went out to lunch and came back, I'd be up on the trade. Now this is another kind of thing that happened. I was at a party once and I was on my cell phone trading. This is back when I trade without stops. So I was pretty pissed off about getting stopped out repeatedly on the euro versus yen. I'm like, those motherfuckers. So I'm going to go to this party, so I said, okay, motherfuckers. So I get out my 4-digit broker, which is great because on an HTC phone with Windows Mobile MT4 loaded, I could scroll down and place a pending. Because a 4-digit broker, you scroll down real quick, and boom, I was 180 pips deep or something, 120 pips deep, and I go, I think I put a 5 or 3K in there, and I'm like, okay, fuckers, come get me. So I'm on the way home from the party. 4 hours later, I look at my phone, and I'm up like fucking 83 bucks. I'm like, holy shit. So I get out. I'm driving the car. I get out. I go home. It turns out I'd be up like 110 had I stayed through the whole retracement, the whole engulf. And at that point, I thought, wow, you really don't have to be there for the trade. And then I started to place orders in the market like that. And now you still got to you still got to think about each trade, but of course, but you can wake up and be in profits. You can literally say, I think they're going to spike the market up or down tonight as I'm sleeping. So if there's some type of sell-off in the middle of the night, I could get filled on that, and if I do the order placement right, I'll actually wake up in profits. So you can do that a lot. Now, if you're a person that is a control freak or you want to micromanage, you may be sitting there babysitting the chart looking for you may take the scalper's mindset and think, well, if I just sit here and really fucking focus, I can get a way better entry. You'd be surprised putting a goofball order in deep, putting a series in deep, how when you can see there's a possible vacuum that's going to fill, and then once the market fills it, then it's satisfied, then it retraces. Like even right here, falling out of the bed here. If the market was going to be open for another day, if I put buy limits in here and I get in here, I scalp out like that one I did, and let the rest of this float back up into here, you know, it's fantastic retracement swing trade strategy. It could actually engulf here next week. In other words, this could be the island entry, abandoned baby, and you buy that, and then it comes all the way back. And you know, once you go to the larger picture, you can see, oh, you know what, this, I could totally see that happening. So if you're accumulating in fair value, this is the Australian dollar on the 1 hour chart, so I'm looking only back. You don't have to look back. Another thing is the empowered trading people, they're like fucking doing shit like this, like, let's do it top down, look at the weekly. I'm like, dude, you're planning a trade to sell here for a pullback to here. Who the fuck is doing that trade? No day trader would do that trade. This chart doesn't mean shit except for your ego, like, hey, I predicted the market was gonna. Okay, great, but just look back. Fucking, this is Sunday night. Here's it. Are you starting off money? You got a double top. You got to sell the second top right here on the 1 hour chart. You don't need any indicators. You don't need any. You need fucking anything. You know this top exists. Okay, resistance. Put a sell order in. Huh? Geez, this is trading. Easy. Tight stop, right? I know this low exists. Okay, put a buy order in there. If you didn't have a scalp built in and you didn't have tight enough stop, then your loss is all the way down. Then here comes here's Tuesday. Well, you know that if you bought down here, where's your exit? It's got to be here. Logically, the first exit, and then here comes the engulf. You could sell into the engulf on limits and ride it all the way back to fair value. So it's just back and forth, up and down. It's literally. Now, when you say that to somebody, they go, you're being too simplistic. This is the funniest argument that was ever posed to Ayn Rand. It can't. Also, maybe Leonard Peikoff actually made this comment. Leonard Peikoff, to hear him bitch and whine is probably the music to my ears. I'll put a link in here called Why Johnny Can't Think. It's the most beautiful argument why conceptual thinking is better than perceptual thinking, better than isolated, like, oh, is that a hammer? Is that a doji? Is that a... He just... So... People said to Ayn Rand, well, you're just being too simplistic. And he's like, what have I left out? Give me the list of shit I left it out. What did I leave out? Nothing. Everything else you're embellishing. You're seeing what you want to see. So it's funny because you see creeping into people trying to explain the market. You can see how they were learned, how they were taught to think. And how it's bad enough the American school system turned into John Dewey, who, if you study John Dewey and CSA method and all that shit, you see the reason why you have a bunch of you made industrial revolution, but intellectually you went down the postmodernist feeling trail, right? The Heraclitean flux, where it's not what you think, it's what you feel. So it's logic and reason just aren't. Ayn Rand's whole claim to fame is, you know, is Aristotelian logic, right? Instead of like magical thinking, which I think that's what the harmonic scanner is. Magical thinking. So is an EA, really. It's magical thinking because markets are just too fucking, like, you cannot hire a robot to come. Like, say you cloned a movie actor and you go, okay, we got a clone of so-and-so, well, put him in that role, program. And no, because what's happening is the actor is thinking on the fly. as reality unfolds in front of him, you're seeing him. It's not the thing that it's not the I think you see what I'm saying. It's not like the moves he's making are making him money. The actor, what he says is the script he's reading is not what's making him money. It's the fact that he may ad-lib that script, right? He may go, you know what? So a trader may look at the market and go, oh no, I after reading all the stuff, I know you got your checklist, but this is an entry. I'm sorry, I know I just got stopped out. Why are you getting in? You had to stop. I know, but I've seen, it's the top of the hour right now, and here we are. They just stopped, hunted everybody in the euro. Buy for the scalp. This is the last run for half an hour up, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's the way I see it. So yeah, I know the guys in power trading just get under my skin because it's like me. I'm like, dude, why don't you guys trade better so you don't have to be such marketing whores, marketing sluts. Yeah, I know. It's hard to stop trading if you're addicted. We all know Sunday night's going to have some great setups, or next week. Like if you're a swing trader, you know. Now, if you go hunting for the next swing trade, you could probably see it on the 4-hour charts and stuff. And of course, next week there's going to be, if you just went back to this terrible FIFO thing I'm running, which is just brutal, right? First in, first out torture. It's like, let me see. Did I ever make any money here? Whatever happened to my first in, first out drama? No, I guess I'm stuck in a trade. Can I get out of my winner here? Oh, look at that. See, there you go. FIFO saved my life. Oof. Not so fast, wise guy. Okay, so
Incoming mail.
FIFO paid the rent today. Okay, now I really am leaving. Europe just closed. It just got extremely boring. It just got so, it's like paint dry. There's literally nothing here. And so that was the psycho volatility there, and euro dollar never made it past that this point here. So the sellers came in on the euro dollar, and that was it. It ran out of fuel. And like I said, if you got on anywhere in here and just revisited this IC2 order block up here, then really that's, you know, that's a pretty good day of trading. It is pulling back, you know, for a supposed buy, but it's too late in the day to get any. It's kind of hard. You're never going to be able to close this trade out with a. It's hard to make any money from here to the end unless you're on the 5-minute chart, right? And you just sold here. So I get it. If you're on the 5-minute chart, you could have sold this, bought, buy, sell, but it's pretty tough. Like I said, if you had a buy limit setting right here, you're up on that scalp. So if you're scalping in a 5-minute chart, you had a sell limit here, and you got filled, and then maybe you cashed out here and went the other way. But see how choppy this is? Before that move, see how the volatility increased here. So you could have got in here super tight, rode it to here, dumped. But once it gets like this, distribution phase like that, you got to be limit markets. It's tough. That's why later on you could give back everything you made on this move up here once you get involved in this kind of game, which 80% of the market is chop, right? This is the chop block before the move, right? All this garbage, if you know how to trade that, or you're waiting for this final, the breakout took to here. Now, mind you, I was in this thing all night long. I'm in this thing watching my equity change. Now, here was the first breakout. And look how this behaved on closing prices. If you look at if you want to do the forensics on, you could have actually not participated and held this drama, but I just was in it. I was in it to win it, and I didn't give a fuck. Like, there was a bunch of places that this accumulation phase, don't forget, went on forever. This went on forever here. Right? This whole area here, this just went on forever. And then, so what was the kickoff point is on closing prices. I'm going to fix the scale. 5-minute structure. Drill down to see how it plays out. You can see the exact 5-minute entry here if you drill down. Take off, draw a line on closing prices here. Did anybody see this when it happened? So that we had the breakout, the trap, it comes back here, breakout, pull back to this pivot. This is the original double top breakout. Now, if you go for the wicks, I don't go for the wicks, right? Because there was the same thing happening here. You can't see it, but see, you cannot see the structure until you go like this. Now, I watched this happen. This was the kickoff point before the big stopping move. Comes back to center point here, up, down, breakout, 5-minute pullback. If you were to babysit that, that was the entry. The ATR, which I mean the true range of each bar, is down at that point. And here's your entry. Super tight stop. What is your ratio on that trade? Right? You rode it all the way to here. The whole thing comes down to this, where it hems and haws, she loves me not, and then bam. Yeah, retrace, right. Yeah, you got a great retrace here on the cycle retrace on Bitcoin. Look at it all the way back. Okay, take care and enjoy the what's left of the weekend.